Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing today and how is your family? This is your girl Princess Victor, the founder of Princess Harris Foundation, and I welcome you to this day, best day ever in the year 2022. Welcome, 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 welcome. We are still dealing with influence, and last week was so amazing. If you not watched the video, please go back and watch it. And this week I want us to look into our atmospheric and environmental influence, because we have the authority, we have the authority to dominate our environment. Is all in our hands. And I want to ask you a very important question this morning. What do you release to your environment? What do you say consistently? Because your environment knows you. They know your voice, they know your fragrance, they know your action, and they are very much loyal. They are loyal servants. Once you release, they prepare it very well. They collect the evidences of what you release, they refine it. Remember, your environment, they serve as an industry, a very powerful industry, the best industry in the world. So when you release, they collect it, they refine it, and they use it to build a beautiful or ugly world for you, and also give it back to you. That is what they do. So once you come, they know what you are coming for. They know what will flow out of you, and they set that environment for you. That is why sometimes if you get to some environment and you find out that it's toxic, it's not really comfortable. Sometimes you get to some environment and you just can't. I just love the peace. I just love this environment. Is just peaceful. I just love being here. So that is because the people dominating that environment is releasing what they should release. So I want to ask you once again, what do you release to your environment? So remember something. If you don't know, let me remind you that anything you release, it becomes a command. Once you release, it's a command, because you are the most powerful being on earth. So the elements within the scope of your environment, they listen to you, they obey your command. So the moment you release it, it becomes a command, and they have no other choice than to obey your command. Those things you are releasing, they are not deaths. They are not death. The elements are not death, rather. The elements are life. They have life. They move, they flow, and it's like a river. It's like a river that its destination is endlessly. So it flows. That means to your generation, to your born generation, to nations of the world, it flows. So what the elements within your environment, which is now serving as an industry, does for you is, it doesn't only collect, it produces, and it doesn't stop there. It gives you a massive production. You will have a massive production, and it also serves as your marketers. They are your marketers. They distribute what you have produced. So that is why sometimes you see some things you do in the secret, you see it reflecting in the life of your child. Some things you do in the secret, you see it reflecting in the life of people around you, because they are life. They are life producing agents. So they are your marketers. They distribute it. So that's why we have to be very, very, very intentional about what we release. We don't just live life as being as careless people. We don't just speak anything. We don't just wake up and do things. Always remember that is an endless river. So you don't know how far it can go, and how far it can go is beyond your imagination. So once again, what do you release? Whew. All right. What that we release a lot of things. Yes, we release a lot of things, but I want us to look into few of them that we release. We release hate, We release anger, we release unforgiveness, we release joy, we release peace. So we release positive things and we also release negativity to our atmosphere. Now I want you to look into the disadvantages and what you got to lose when you release hate, unforgiveness, anger, irrespective of your excuses, irrespective of your reasons. So I know you have reasons, I know you are right, I know that you really want to do it, but I want you to remember that you are right doesn't mean that you should stand on it. That you are right doesn't mean that you should stand on it. You have the right to be angry, you have the right to be up to not to forgive, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't forgive, because you have a lot of things to lose, a whole lot of things to lose. But when you stand in the place of forgiveness, peace, love, understanding, respect, you have everything to gain. So check your disadvantages and your advantages. At this point, you have to smash your ego. You have to kill it. You have to murder your ego. You have to murder it. You just have to close your eyes and murder it, because it's no longer serving you. Compared to where you are going, think of where you are going. Think of the generation you are bringing up. Think of the generation that is coming through you. Think of people who are connected to you, who are connected to your environment, because your environment have to produce life. Your environment have to be a place where people feel comfortable to be, to stay. You can also release words. What kind of words are you speaking? What kind of words are you releasing to your atmosphere? Remember, they collect everything you release and create a world for you. So what kind of world do you want to have? So think of those disadvantages and the things you have to lose, and think of the things you have to gain. If I will suggest, be in peace with all men, or be in peace or be at peace? Be in peace, yes. Be in peace with all men. It's possible. It's very, very possible. You are the one that will decide it. When your ego is smashed, you will be able to know that I don't have to do this, is not necessary. And sometimes the anger we allow to dominate us for a long time. It's not even necessary. We are just being childish. That's the truth. So be in peace with all men and release joy, release peace instead of hate, because it's not going to add anything to you. That's the truth. It's not going to add anything to you. So if you have been doing it over the years, what have it added to you? Nothing. No, nothing. It's not going to add anything for you. Rather, it's a weight. It's a weight. It's not even about them. It's not even about the people. It's about you. So the world you want to create, you are pulling it down by yourself because you want to be right. So smash your ego, murder it, and release love, release peace, release understanding. Just release it. You have everything to gain. Now, this is very, very important. This peace, love, joy, forgiveness, and understanding you are releasing, it requires three things, very important. One is authenticity. Second is consistency. Third is growth. So I want you to know that your environment knows you. They know you. They know how authentic you are. They know how sincere you are. So don't bother trying to be pretentious about it. Don't bother trying to be fake about it, because they know how sincere you are. And some of these things, the elements, they are one of the truthful, they are not beings, they are one of the truthful, let me call them things that we can relate with, because they are very much legalistic. They know when you are lying. They know when you are not being yourself. They know when you are pretending. Now, I want you to be authentic from whatever you are releasing. Don't say I'm forgiving you and why you know you've not forgiven. Don't just pretend about it. Be real. Be real. It will give you peace of mind. Even when what you are releasing, they are not, people are not accepting it or believing you. Just do what is right for you. Remember, I told you that it's not about what people will see you and applaud you. It's about what your conscience will see you and applaud you. So just do the right thing by releasing what you ought to release. Be real with it, be sincere with it, and be consistent with it. Don't just release today and tomorrow you say you are fed up. No, it's an endless streams of river that flow. The destination of this is endlessly, so it never ends. So just make a decision that you keep releasing it, you keep at it. If anything is what's noble, if anything is beautiful, if anything is royal, if anything is kind, think about those things. These are the life you should live. So you should box yourself into this and release it. Remember, it's also good measure. The positive and the positivity and negativity, they are good measure. Press down, shaking together and running over. That is what will come back to you when you release. So be consistent in it. And lastly, expose yourself to growth. Make sure you expose yourself, stretch yourself to growth. It doesn't only stop in you being in 4 walls of university. It does not stop in you obtaining one certificate or the other. I've met many people who are highly educated, but they behave childishly and they behave as though they didn't even see the 4 walls of university. So being literate is not just centered on school. Come over here to the school of life. Give the school of life the opportunity to train you. You need to be trained. You need to expose yourself to reading. You need to expose yourself to self-development, just like what we are doing right now, what you are watching me do right now. Expose yourself to knowledge, expose yourself to growth. Don't camp on this is me. No, it's not worthy enough. You have to deal with your inner self. You have to really deal with your inner self, because if you don't, it will keep you at a place for a very long time. Remember, this is a school of life, and everything is an examination for you. People get on your nerves, people treat you badly, people do things. Is an exam. So when you pass it, you get to the next level. So expose yourself to knowledge. Just expose yourself to knowledge. Stretch your knowledge, and don't just stretch yourself in knowledge. Do what you hear. Be a practical example of this knowledge. Don't just hear it and calculating in your mind whom to share it with, or the group you have to share it with. You have to share this knowledge. You have to copy the knowledge and post for them, and at the end of the day they'll say, this is wonderful, or post it on social media. People will be hailing you. Remember, every knowledge you acquire is for yourself. It's not even for others. Every knowledge you acquire is for yourself first. So use it for yourself. When you use it for yourself, the overflow of you is what you will see, and it will definitely create a better life to humanity. That is justice. As atmospheric and environmental influence. This is a journey back to us. This is us dealing with our inner self. Wow, this is lovely. As I'm saying it, I'm talking to myself. Remember, I told you we are growing together. So we are in this journey together. So everything I'm saying is coming back to me, and I'm constantly improving myself on these things. So I don't want you to ignore it. Don't just listen and throw it away. It's something that you should really work on. Thank you for listening. I'm so happy to be connected to you. I'm just so excited. I feel so emotional right now, but I want to smile for you. Okay, all right. See you next week. And until then, always remember that I love you. And when I mean I love you, I really do. We are in this journey together, and together we're going to thrive. Yes, I can see us going to places and affecting life positively, massively. God bless you.